Welcome back to another video. Today, the biggest news on the timeline is the fact that the OCG duelists are actually getting the prize cards that we wanted for years. It's official. There are going to be new prize cards that are staples with an original stamp. Who could have called it? Maybe. We'll see a little bit later. A new Anotherverse monster added in and being released actually before the TCG, and a lot of other news. The Albaz anime getting postponed and some new cards being released. Before we begin, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel as always. Yeah, this is the big news from the OCG. The OCG just announced their national prizing and their 3v3, the first ever 3v3 YCS in Japan. YCSs in Japan are a bit more rare and infrequent. There are, I think, like 2 a year, possibly. It's much, much less than Europe, NA, Latin America. We have so many YCSs. And the biggest story here is, of course, this Effect Veiler, who's going to be the top 64 prizing for the duelists in the next Japanese YCS with a special rarity and, of course, the YCS stamp. We'll see in a second how I called it about maybe almost a year ago. And, of course, another verse monster. It's another verse monster being given out in this super rare and ultra rarity. It's being revealed before the TCG, which is kind of big. Let's continue and discuss it a little bit further here. Yeah, so basically this is the new Anotherverse monster. It's going to be one of the prizes for the 3v3 Japanese Championship. Of course, Rush Duel is going to get a new promo on their own. This is like, we have the new Veiler, which is making me very happy. And on the other hand, we have Anotherverse monster, which has me suspecting that the next prize card for the TCG is going to be Anotherverse monster, which is just depressing. You can also see here, if you're watching on a big screen, you can see that there's a 3v3 Japan Championship stamp on the card. So again, improvements in making promos and prize cards more more unique, more special, I suppose. And of course, these events, again, they are a little bit more infrequent than Western YCSs. So they're always getting a new playmat, which is this sort of cool looking Japanese style illustration of an iconic monster. This is something that, again, we don't get here. And we'll see in a second that the pricing in the Japanese YCS is absolutely insane. But the TCG has responded, and I think everybody's pretty happy right now. We have Paolo PRRJ, what is it now, 35 Premier Tops, former YCS champion, huge duelist in the scene, saying that it seems that top 64 players of YCS Tokyo are getting an Effect Veiler with a YCS logo and a special rarity. Guys, this is everything we've ever wanted. The community asked for this type of price support for years. I hope we get the same type of price support in the TCG soon. So whether this is coming to the TCG or not remains to be seen. But the fact that the feedback has been posted, Konami has actually listened and implemented almost exactly the mocks that I've done, the designs that I've done on Twitter, and we'll see in a second, is pretty remarkable. And this is huge because this means that, today, when we're talking about prize support in Western YCSs, we're talking about prize cards that aren't worth much anymore. They're vanilla, Anotherverse monsters, as we saw for top 3, right? Maybe the ultra rare for top, like the first place, could be worth a little bit of money, but, throughout the season, people are going to get more and more of these, and they will go down in value. And this is a top 64 prizing, which is huge. Imagine like how valuable this is, using this in your deck, even if it's like just an ultra rare, right? You want to grind the season and get your playset of YCS prize card Effect Veilers. Huge, absolutely huge. So I mentioned this. This was in August, which is close to a year ago, right? This is something that I've done previously. You can see I was messing around with the full art cards as prize support. This is basically what I was saying. Prize support should be very, very coveted, that people will want to either collect or, play in their decks. It needs to be playable, stable cards with some sort of stamp of approval of the event that they took place in. I did one of these for the OCG, and essentially, yeah, besides the full art version, the YCS logo on the card, it's basically the same. I was messing around with a few other versions. You can see this Skull Guardian again, pretty much the same. If you keep the card as is and just put the logo on it, we might okay, let's get rid of the full art ideas, but at least someone is listening and we're getting a playable promo with an exclusive YCS rarity. I think this is something that people just this is the dream, right? For now, this is the dream. All that remains is that it actually comes to the TCG. I also did this for Anotherverse Solaria, which could be a really beautiful card, but again, if this is just something you put in a binder or sell and there's no incentive of playing it, it kind of sucks, right? The fact that the effect veiler is going to be, for top 64, right? If the Japanese YCSs would take place as frequent as Western YCSs, you could grind 3 YCSs, get your playset. You know how insane that would be? This is what people actually want. And again, it doesn't have to be only for YCSs. One Piece TCG has these for regionals. There's really no reason that we wouldn't have these. So again, huge news for the OCG and a little bit of hope for the TCG as well. And again, the YCSs in Japan are pretty infrequent, so they really do not pull any stops, right? They do everything for these events, new sleeves, playmats. It's a huge event, and we're also getting these figures of all the Malice monsters. If you're a collector, you like this type of thing, I mean, this is pretty cool, Imagine going to a YCS today. You got some vendors and stuff, but there's not really any Konami sanctioned big hurrah and a lot of new things, right? It's just vendors and nothing is really put out to the public. Now, other news, there was an OCG stream recapping a lot of other things, Rush Duel stuff, and of course, some news about the Sky Striker and Fallen of Albaz anime. It is going to be dubbed, right? There are voice actors involved, and we will reveal them in a second in this video, but it's really awesome to see that this is still going on full effect. And we were told that in Alliance Insight, not in Alliance Insight, in Duelist Advanced, which is the next core set, we'll get support related to these cards. And boy, have we gotten the support. We'll see that in a second. But we're also getting another new product, Ultimate Special Pack, which has these, other cards that are kind of related to things that will and were released. Sky Striker cards, Magistus cards, Exosister. There's a new Exosister, basically structure deck coming out. Same thing with Rescue Ace, Hungry Burger. Why not? And again, going back to the anime, the Albaz anime has actually been pushed a little bit. They're not doing it in parallel. So essentially, it will be April till May, the Sky Striker anime, and then from June, the Fallen of Albaz anime. From June. So who knows how long that will take, which is awesome. So yeah, Duelist Advanced, getting new cards for Striker. And boy, if we get these cards for branded, I'm gonna be losing it. So it's gonna be a new link too, which is absolutely crazy. It's called Sky Striker Ace 0, and this is going to be a Surger on summon for any Striker spell, and then not on the same turn you activate the first effect, you contribute it and summon Rose and Ray from your deck and or graveyard, and then you can destroy one card on the field, which is absolutely crazy. And then the first Striker card that doesn't require you to actually control no monsters in the main monster zone. Target spell in your graveyard, returns them, bounces your opponent's card, and this is really high level support to really sell the anime, really sell the set. It's going to be all connected. Another thing that was announced was a Tactical Tri pack, which is different from the Tactical Tri deck, which is going to be a deck with no new cards, but it's relatively ready to play. We're getting one for Exosister and Rescue Ace soon. We got one for Cyber Dragon, Live Twin, and Eldritch already. And this pack is going to be probably introducing new support for select archetypes, and those are Mekanko, which is definitely a fan favorite archetype. I don't really like the playstyle, but you can't deny that this was definitely a fan favorite. Masked Heroes are getting new cards, and they're actually getting main deck monsters. Up until now, you need to use Mask Change in order to change your heroes from Elemental or evil into masked. Not anymore. And most importantly, Dark Magician, right? Finally, something in the realm of making Dark Magician playable. Blue Eyes did it in a second, but Dark Magician, for some reason, unplayable for ages. This is going to be sort of like a new Ritual Chaos retrain. Who knows what that's going to be, but hopefully we'll see that in the TCG soon, or some sort of announcement relatively soon. Again, we mentioned the voice actors for the Striker anime. So yeah, this is going to be dubbed, which means that the Fallen Valbaz one is going to be dubbed as well, which is really, really cool. And lastly, again, in the same event, Duelist Advance, showing some of the cards that will be released in sort of like an additional special pack, right? We have some Dododo and Gagaga cards, but most importantly, we have some Lunalight cards, right? Which means that there's still Lunalight support to be released in Duelist Advance that we haven't seen yet. So this is sort of like a supplementary pack. Again, all of this video is just like, look at how much the OCG is getting, that the TCG players is just like screwed for some reason. I don't understand why, but we're not getting any of this. But this is like a supplementary pack, and you can see Monarch stuff already announced. Of course, the Gagaga Dododo stuff already announced, but Lunalight still remains to be seen. So yeah, huge news. Definitely happy that this is happening. Like, this is a good thing, and we actually got exactly what we wanted. I'd love to hear your comments down below on how screwed are we as TCG players. Are we suckers for playing this game? Maybe we should be moving to Japan. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.